Awesome.
Okay.
Well, it's 1:04, so let's go ahead and get started, E.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, so handing it off to you, Tasha.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, or good morning, depending on your location. I am Tasha Lawrence, and I'm the Special Projects Manager in the Tech Department for Dream.org. We're delighted to have you here at our Chat and Chew event, where we come together to entertain, engage, and explore the exciting possibilities in the tech industry. Whether you have a passion for climate tech, interested in regular tech, or starting your own technical business, this event aims to inspire and support your journey towards achieving your goals. As we embark on this journey together, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on your goals, aspirations, and impact your wish to make on the tech industry. So to start off, we're going to go over the agenda. So first we did the welcome. Next will be meet our tech team, career pathways overview, diving into data analytics, unraveling cybersecurity, understanding UX design, highlight Google certificates and certifications, and live Q&A with our Google rep. I can't wait for that. And then we'll give you some next steps in our tech learning community that we're actually starting, and we'll do event closing and general Q&A. Go to the next slide, E.
Awesome.
Awesome. So on the screen now is our tech team members. To start, the top left is Kashif Wizard, which is our National Director of Tech. He is not able to be here today because he's attending a summit in Atlanta, actually here. But he do wish you guys, he's happy you were able to join, and hope you guys have a great time with us. My name is Tasha Lawrence. As I mentioned, I'm the Special Projects Manager. I also oversee community engagement. So if you receive an email from myself or Emmanuel asking maybe a survey or anything, please respond back. Those surveys help us be able to design these programs for you to make sure to help you reach your goals. And is Alex in the room?
Yep, I'm here.
Now I'll pass it over to Alex.
Appreciate it. Hey, everyone. Good to see everybody here. I'm going to go ahead and introduce EJ, who also cannot be here today, actually with Kashif at the summit. So she is our Director of Tech Career Pathways. She oversees the strategic development and implementation of Dream.Tech Scholarship Program, and also works with workforce strategies, which include careers in climate and emerging technology sectors. She is super excited for you guys to learn more about our topics today. And a little bit about myself. My name is Alejandra Castillo. I go by Alex. I am the Senior Programs Initiatives Associate for Tech, and I lead our scholarship initiatives and also assist EJ with innovative projects in career development. So super excited for you guys to be here and learn all the great things that Tasha and Emmanuel have prepared for you guys today. I'll go ahead and pass it over to, is Michael in the room?
I don't think so. So we'll pass it over to Emmanuel.
All right.
Awesome. Yeah, my name is Emmanuel. I'm a digital campaigner here with Dream.org. I work very closely with the tech team. You'll see some communications from me. I write the emails, text, etc. And yeah, you know, we're here to help you kind of navigate the tech space and break into the tech sector. So we want you to use us as a resource to help you accomplish that. We're going to be going over a lot of content today, a lot of good information to help you make informed decisions about entering the tech space. So I'm just happy to be here, and I'm glad that you are all here as well. Am I good to move to the next slide?
Sure.
Sweet. So welcome. Yeah, today we will, sorry, reading a message here. Yeah, so welcome to our professional development event. This event is really tailored specifically for those who are curious or motivated or excited about embarking, on a career path or career journey in the technology industry. Today's agenda is packed with a lot of crucial information and opportunities to set you on this path. So first, we're going to delve into 3 high-demand career paths: cybersecurity, data analytics, and UX design. We will unpack what these roles or these fields entail. We'll discuss growth prospects or projections. We're actually using data directly from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. We'll also talk about salary projections. So you know, ranging from less than 1 year of experience all the way to 20 years of experience. And we'll also share our curated list of free and low-cost courses and resources that can help kickstart your journey on these career paths. But we're not just going to hand you a list of these courses, right? We're going to go the extra mile and provide additional resources that can supplement your learning and really propel you towards excellence. You know, we understand that a career in tech doesn't stop at, like, you know, one course, right? It's not that straightforward. So we'll also be outlining some practical steps that you can take after completing these courses, so you can continue to develop your skills and enhance your portfolio beyond just these foundational courses that we'll be covering today. This advice hopefully will set this stage for consistent growth in your tech career. We're also going to be announcing I'm really excited about this, our Tech Learning Community Program today. And so we'll talk about this more later, but this initiative revolves around creating career path-based virtual study groups, enabling you to collaborate and learn in tandem with like-minded peers. Additionally, we'll guide you on how to use our dedicated Slack channel effectively. And one thing I'm really excited about is we're also going to be kind of showing you our cutting-edge GPT-4 powered AI tutor, which is a resource designed to help you in your learning journey. So I'm not sure if folks here have used ChatGPT, GPT-4 specifically, but it is an incredible learning tool, and we're going to provide it to you, pending interest, of course, free of charge. But finally, you know, we're here to empower you, right? With all these information, all these insights, all these resources we're sharing today, we're aiming to help you make more informed decisions about your tech career. You know, you'll understand what next steps you can take after taking these courses, whether you're just starting out from the very beginning or looking to advance your career. Let's say you've already taken some of these courses or a similar course. The next steps portion of this event will still be very relevant to you. So, with all of that being said, let's dive in and start exploring these possibilities in the world of technology. So before we go into any of that, let's talk career paths, right? And why they're so important. A career path, you know, is a professional journey towards your ultimate career goals. They're important for 4 main reasons, right? They provide direction. So defining your career path provides you a roadmap for your professional development. It helps you identify the different roles that you need to take on, the skills that you need to develop, and the experience you need to gain to reach your ultimate goal. Also, when you have a career path, you have that clear, you know, start to finish, you have that clear journey, right? And so it's easier to stay motivated as opposed to just kind of working a job for working a job, right? Every job you take, every course that you take will be treated as a step to help you break into that space. And so in that, having that clear defined path will help you stay motivated. Career paths are also great because it helps you identify the skills that you need in order to progress further in your career. And lastly, career satisfaction, right? When you're intentionally thinking about the career path that you're on, the way that the skills that you need to develop, the places you would like to be, you'll have a higher career satisfaction overall, right? When it's intentional. So today we're going to explore those career paths, and we're going to start with data analytics. I'll pass it over to you, Tasha, to do a little bit of an icebreaker.
Awesome. Well, guys, we're about to start the data analytics. So we would like to know, how would you rate your current knowledge and understanding of data analytics? So put A if you're a beginner, B intermediate, C advanced in the chat, please. We want to kind of see what we are and get us ready us to learn more about this great career path. Awesome. I see some A, B, C's. Awesome. So we have all levels, and that's exactly what we want. We want everybody to be engaged. And also maybe, let's connect. Let's share our emails. Let's share that information so we can then be able to help one another to become, if you're A, to become a B, or if you're a C, to help the B's become a C's. So I'm going to pass it back to you, Emmanuel.
I was on mute that whole time. Yeah, thanks there, Tasha. Yeah, hopefully by the end of this, if you put in A, we'll put you at a B, and if you're at a B, we'll put you at a C by the end of this event. So let's dig in. Data analytics is it's a vibrant, ever evolving field that deals with analyzing raw data to extract valuable insights that are used in decision-making processes. So it involves, several key, processes such as, cleaning data, right? Transforming it, modeling it, maybe applying different statistical, mathematical techniques to spot different patterns and trends. Now, you might see the value in this, right? Because making data-driven decisions allows companies to, optimize profits, right? It's really a gold mine. And so think of data analytics, a metaphor I like to use is like the data is like the raw ore, right? So like iron ore. And your goal is to extract the nuggets of information or just the iron bits and pieces that can be used to fuel a business's success. It's a field that offers opportunities to work with, cutting edge technology and solve problems that have a direct impact on an organization's success. And it spans across, a ton of different industries, finance, healthcare, retail, and technology. And that's going to be a common theme here, right? We talk about tech, right? But tech touches every facet of every industry, essentially. The world is online. So let's move on. Speaking of making data-driven decisions, let's talk about job growth in this particular field. So organizations are, increasingly relying on data to guide strategic decisions, driving really rapid increase in the demand for professionals skilled in data analytics. And so to give you an idea of this number, in 2021, according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, there were over 104,000 jobs in this field. The US Bureau of Labor Statistics also projects a growth rate over the next decade from 2021 to 2031 to be 23%. And so this equates to approximately 10,300 new job openings each year, largely, to do with like workforce transitions and retirements. And so this is a great field to break into. If you take a look here at this graph, the total growth, the average growth for all total occupations is 5%, whereas operations researchers, analysts, which are data analysts, this growth is at 23%. And then two, data analytics is kind of like the starting point for data science, right? Data science is just more advanced data analytics. And so here, for mathematical science occupations, we see that the growth rate is 30%. Cool, let's move on. So let's talk about the different roles in data analytics, right? We have junior data analysts who, if you start a role in data analytics, you'll be, assisting with collecting data, processing it, maybe doing some, preliminary analysis, under the guidance of more experienced data analysts. So this role really provides you the opportunity to build a strong foundation to eventually become a data analyst. And so if you are a data analyst, your role involves transforming raw data into meaningful information, providing actionable insights that can help, improve a business's performance. So let's say, for example, you are working for this company that sells cars, right? the website, the interface, the way that web developers design it, you're going to be collecting a lot of useful data about how your users are interacting with your website. And so a data analyst will take all of this data, basically analyze it and give useful insights. They'll say, well, folks are really interested in this particular thing, or this thing seems to get a lot of clicks, but not a lot of purchases, that kind of thing. And then I talked about this a little bit before, but data scientists is really just one step above data analysts, where they're the ones designing, implementing sophisticated data modeling, mining, and production processes, leveraging advanced statistical techniques and machine learning algorithms. You can also thank data scientists for ChatGPT, or in part to ChatGPT, in part, I would say. And this role involves not just using data to solve existing problems, but to foresee and mitigate future challenges. So you can see the value here in data analyst and data analytics and why it's such a rapidly growing field. It's because businesses want to make data-driven decisions, right? They want to make choices about the numbers, or choices with the numbers. And data analysts do just that. They take data and they make it, they extract useful insights, projections, predictions, etc. So let's talk about the salary, right? Let's talk about the money. If you're an entry-level data analyst with less than a year of experience, well, let's talk about where I got this data from. This is pulled from Glassdoor and PayScale. These are two of the largest websites in terms of tracking salaries for different positions. I included both of them to give a better idea of, what kind of salary that you can expect. I want it to be known here that these figures are averages, and the actual salaries can vary wildly depending on factors like the industry, the employer, the location, amongst other things. But what these numbers tell us is there's clear potential for salary growth as you gain experience in this field. And I would say these salaries are a little bit on the low end, as far as these averages here, but you can expect to make a little bit more than what is shown here. That being said, entry level, you can expect to make around $60,000 a year. Those with 1 to 4 years of experience, that number rises to about 64,000 on average. And then around the middle of your career, that can jump to 72,000. And if you're an experienced data analyst, you can expect to make anywhere from 73,000 to 95,000. Now, this number jumps up wildly once you start considering data science roles. I did not include that data here because I want to start, talking about the foundations, right? But I would recommend using data analyst roles as a foundation to start pursuing data scientist roles, which, the salary growth and projection for which is much higher. Whew, that was a lot. But we're going to go ahead and transition to our next career path, cybersecurity. I'll pass it back to you, Tasha.
Awesome. Yes, that was a lot of information, but great information. Now, how many people was interested by the salaries? The salaries kind of stood out for me. But now that we're going to cybersecurity, let's figure this out. Have you ever thought of starting a career in cybersecurity? Type A for yes, B for maybe, C for no in the chat. Let's see what we have in the room. Okay, I see a lot of A's. Oh, some B's. And I'm going to pass it back to you, Emmanuel.
Yeah, so if you're thinking about a career in cybersecurity, you are thinking about money, because that's where it's at. I'm sure everybody here has had some kind of interaction with like an antivirus, maybe some malware that they've had to install to get rid of viruses. I personally have, I remember being a kid, there was this one virus on my computer that literally took a picture of me. It held my computer hostage and said like I had to send some kind of money, I had to wire money to this account or whatever. So I'm sure we've all had an experience like that. That's where cybersecurity professionals come in. So at its core, cybersecurity is all about protecting computer systems, networks, data from digital threats. It involves ransomware, that's the word for it. Thank you, Jessica. It involves employing a variety of different tools and best practices to prevent, detect, and respond to these threats, ensuring the integrity, confidentiality, and the availability of data. Considering our ever-growing reliance on digital systems, hence, the increasing importance of digital security, professionals in this field are highly sought after across numerous industries, ranging from finance to healthcare to government and technology. Government is a huge, huge hire of cybersecurity professionals. You can imagine why. It is, as everything is being done digitally, it is so, so important that we protect this data. And that's what cybersecurity professionals do. And you can see the applications across literally every industry, any industry where you are storing user data, right? Any website that allows you to log in, they have cybersecurity professionals making sure that hackers can't access that data and use it for malicious purposes. And so as such, the job of the demand for information security analyst is what the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics describes cybersecurity analyst as is the fastest growing field that we're going to be talking about today. So you can see here the total average for all occupations is 5%, but information security analyst is at 35%, right? In 2021, the number of jobs in this field, right? We talked about data analytics, right? Was 104,000. In 2021 for cybersecurity, this number was 163,000. And it's only going to continue to grow. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics also reports that the median annual wage for these roles is 102,000, and approximately 20,000 job openings are projected each year on average over the next decade. A lot of these are government jobs. So let's talk about the different roles in cybersecurity, right? Now, the first one that we're going to cover is what's called an SOC analyst. So SOC stands for Security Operations Center, and SOC analysts are crucial for monitoring different security systems and detecting suspicious activity. This role is in demand, across numerous industries. So they're going to be checking, any type of suspicious interactions, right? Checking for DDoS attacks, for example, which is when you spam a server with a bunch of different requests to overwhelm it and prevent it from responding to actual requests. So I'm sure folks have seen, sometimes a website will go down, or, for me, my experience with DDoS is with video games. And so in this silly game called Apex Legends, what folks will do to avoid losing is they will send a bunch of requests to the server to basically shut it down so that they don't lose any points. Let's say they're not winning the game. So that's just one example, like an SOC analyst, and I'm sure Origin, the company that owns Apex Legends, denial of service, thank you, has SOC analyst on deck, right, monitoring this server. I'm glad we got some Apex players here. Monitoring the servers, monitoring the logs, and making sure that there's no suspicious activity, and if there is, figuring out who is it, where it's coming from, and how to stop it. We also have incident responders, which is another role in cybersecurity, and their job is to respond and mitigate security incidents, right? Security is a cyber threat to grow in complexity, and right, we're only going to see this grow even faster, especially with the adoption of open source large language models like ChatGPT that will be unlocked, and ChatGPT has different restrictions on what you can ask it. But as we move into the future, in conjunction with those AIs, and cybersecurity hackers just getting smarter, right, and getting better at finding exploits and using them. incident responders, respond to and mitigate security threats. So I'm not sure if folks have watched Mr. Robot before, but one of the first scenes in that show actually is the main character, Elliot, who flies out to a server or a server room somewhere in some place. And he is actually responsible for, monitoring different attacks, preventing that particular attack. If you haven't watched Mr. Robot, definitely watch it. It's an amazing show. And then moving on to risk analysts, right? Risk analysts are fundamental in identifying and quantifying system risk, right? So a risk analyst will take a look at a company's system and say, all right, based on what I know, my expertise, it looks like these are the different vulnerabilities that you have. Here's how hackers may exploit that. And here's how we can potentially mitigate that risk. And so I would say most of the roles kind of lay here with risk analysts who, help maintain these roles here. And moving on, since we're a little bit short on time, let's talk about salary. So cybersecurity is the fastest growing and in the highest paying career path that we're going to be talking about today. So entry-level cybersecurity analysts with less than a year of experience can expect to make anywhere from $67,000 to $76,000 per year. As you gain experience, let's say 1 to 4 years, you can expect to make anywhere from $74,000 to $78,000. Glassdoor and PayScale report different numbers. If mid-career, you can expect to make around $90,000. And for senior analysts, you can expect to make anywhere from $95,000 to $110,000. And similarly, what we saw with data analytics, right? This clearly shows that there's room for growth in these fields too. Whew, that was a lot. Tasha, I'll pass it to you.
To give you a little break.
Yeah, thank you.
Again, guys, that was a lot. So I know you have a lot going around in your minds trying to figure out like, oh, wow, that's very interesting. As we move to UX design, we have a question. This one is a long question, so it's not as simple as an ABC. How many of you have ever given thought to how user-friendly a website or an application was? A, if you made thought. B, if you never thought about it. C, didn't never care. Let's go. Awesome. I see some A's and B's. Great. I know sometimes I do think about it, especially when I'm putting my credit card information in. I've had someone steal my identity before, so I'm very cautious on that. So yes, I do put some thought when it comes there. E, Manuel, I'll pass it on.
Yeah, before we dig into UX design, I want to highlight something that someone said here in the chat, which is how future-proof cybersecurity is. So I would say of all the career paths that we're going to be talking today, cybersecurity is going to be the one that is the most future-proof. And that is simply because just the nature of it, right? You have, cybersecurity professionals are basically fighting with, right, or defending against attacks from hackers, right? There's always going to be demand for that, always. I think especially, with the increased reliance of AI systems, we're going to need that human component, that human touch, to help defend against these attacks. So there are a lot of A's here. I'm scrolling through A's, B's, C's. But whoever said that, thank you for sharing that too, because that is a very, very big point. Let's quickly run through UX design. So let's talk about the job market and demand for you. Let's do an overview of UX design. So yes, it's all about building engaging, interactive, fluid experiences, user experiences with platforms. So it's about designing, where should the search bar go? How should this icon move when I swipe it? All of that. And so if you check it out here too, user experience is the look, the feel, and usability of various platforms. It can be mobile apps, it can be web development, it can be your Apple Watch. I'm sure folks have seen the new Apple Vision Pro headset. That is a stellar example of an excellent UX design, user experience. So yeah, it's about, creating engaging and efficient, meaningful experiences for users interacting with digital products. It's not just about making them look nice, though. It's about ensuring that these products meet user needs and expectations in an intuitive and satisfying way. UX designers are masters at blending their understanding of user behavior with robust technical and design skills. And because of the nature of their work, they're in a high demand across a broad spectrum of industries, including technology, e-commerce is a big one, media, healthcare, finance, you name it. Any website, any company that has an online presence, online interface, right, relies on UX designers to build those interfaces, build those experiences, so that users have easier times navigating their websites, purchasing products, etc. I'm sure folks here have used websites that suck, right, that are just not intuitive at all. And I'm sure folks here have used really great, websites that make things super easy. Let's talk about job market and demand. So, the growth in this field is pretty significant, mostly driven by the rising significance of user experience in determining customer satisfaction and engagement across various digital platforms. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, web and digital interface designers, which are UX designers, are projected to grow 16% over the next decade. This field held almost 200,000 jobs in 2021, and we're expecting to see, 21,000 job openings for these roles open each year on average over the next decade. And the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics also reports a median annual pay of about $80,000. There are different roles in UX design. The main one is UX designer, right? But there also are UX researchers who conduct research and understand user needs and behaviors. Their insights help influence what UX designers do in different business decisions. So a UX designer will basically, a researcher will, conduct studies, surveys to see how users are interacting with different things and how to optimize that so that they have the best possible experience. They give that data to UX designers who then, ensure that the product meets, the user's needs, make sure that it also meets the company's needs, right? The company will say, hey, we want a website. The UX designer is like, okay, here's how you might design that. They design wireframes, prototypes, and perform different tests on their designs. And then interaction designers are less about the visual component and more about the interactive components, right? So animating different animations. I'm sure folks, swiping, right? Tinder is a great example of like how you swipe and then the thing goes to the left and it's a very smooth and fluid motion. That is the job of an interaction designer, right? When if somebody interacts, an interaction designer will design that kind of fluid role there. As far as the salary trajectory for UX designers, entry level, you can expect to make anywhere, Glassdoor and PayScale have a really huge discrepancy here, anywhere from 66,000 to 86,000 with less than 1 year experience. And that number just continues to go up over time. Mid-career, you can expect to make around $87,000 per year, and senior UX designers can expect to make anywhere from $100,000 to $113,000 as reported by Glassdoor and PayScale. Cool. So honorable mention here, web development. We didn't talk about it too much today, but it is the second fastest growing career path that we'll be mentioning here. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics suggest a 23% growth rate over the next decade, from 2021 to 2031. This field offers a ton of diverse roles, and a standout course recommendation for that is the Odin Project, which is completely free. It's one of the most highly regarded web development boot camps. Looks great on a resume, and you really gets you hands-on, right? Like you can learn how to do Python or learn how to code HTML or JavaScript TypeScript, whatever. But the Odin project, actually, you'll be doing the work of a web developer in that bootcamp, working on real practical projects. We're going to be sharing more information about web development in our resource guide, so stay tuned for that. We'll be sending that out on Tuesday, June 13th, in a recap email with a recording of this event. All right, we're a little bit over time, but we wanted to, so as far as foundational courses for these career paths, you know, we covered a lot, right? Data analytics, cybersecurity, UX design, but where does one actually like start with these courses, right? We've picked, you know, these different starter courses, and they're all offered through, you know, the Google's own Grow with Google Career Certificates program. We picked the data analytics because it gives you a comprehensive understanding of the fundamentals. It's cost effective. I believe it's $39 a month through Coursera. It's self-paced too. So, you know, it's 10 hours a week I'll actually let the Google rep speak a lot more about these different course certifications since we're running low on time. But yeah, don't take our word for it, right? We're gonna pass the mic over to our wonderful Google rep to take the mic away and talk about the Career Certificates program.
Hi, everyone. I'm Janice. I'm calling in from Google. Super excited to talk more about the Google Career Certificates. Manuel, if you don't mind just giving me permission to share my screen, and I can do a little bit of an introduction while you do so.
Of course. Let me make you a co-host here. Sorry.
No worries.
Speaking of UX design, Zoom could use some more UX designers.
I'm a little bummed we're not on Google Meet, but that can be a conversation. So my name is Janice. As I mentioned, I am on the Grow with Google team, and our team is focused on creating economic opportunity for everyone, leveraging our Google products and services. And one of our key ways that we do so is by providing trainings and various levels of digital skills workshops and trainings. Our largest training program is the Google Career Certificate program, and that is what I'll be diving into today. And I believe I have access to share my screen now. Okay, can I have a thumbs up if folks can see it? Amazing. Yeah. I'm going to dive right in. I know we have time for questions at the end, but if you wanted to throw questions in the chat so you don't forget them, feel free to do so as well. So what are our Google Career Certificates? As I mentioned, we're focused on creating economic opportunity, specifically through trainings and workshops and digital skilling. This program specifically focuses on job seekers and those looking for jobs and careers. And we really wanted to make sure that we were creating a program that was accessible, no matter if someone has a degree, no matter if someone has experience in the industry, can they get a job and build a career? So the Google Career Certificates are designed for the industries of cybersecurity, data analytics, digital marketing, e-commerce, IT support, project management, and user experience design. I will go through the three that you focused on, but know that we do have those other opportunities available as well. These industries were chosen because there are currently 2.4 million job openings across these certificate fields. They're high growing, in demand, and as you saw from the team, really high paying. They also are industries where the job requirements and job descriptions are most likely to not have a degree requirement. And so really creating an opportunity for folks to step into the tech space. I'll jump right into the cybersecurity certificate. And as I explain each certificate, I'll talk through the structure and format that is applicable to all certificates. So as Emmanuel mentioned, they are on the Coursera platform. They normally cost around $39 a month, and they're built to be completely asynchronous. If you dedicate 10 hours a week, you can complete it at your own pace within 6 months. And that is so that you can take the videos, the take the lessons, download the worksheets, take the quizzes at the schedule that makes the most sense for you. A majority of our certificate learners are working full-time jobs, so this makes it extremely flexible for folks that are looking to upscale or rescale while they're employed, or for those that are unemployed to make sure that they can take it faster and apply for jobs immediately after finishing. So our cybersecurity certificate specifically focuses on end-to-end how to prepare any of your systems for cybersecurity. It will dive into a couple of specific platforms that are used across the industry for cybersecurity, like Python, Linux, SQL. Every single certificate covers the platforms that are used across the industry. So they are not only teaching you how to work, let's say at a Google, they are teaching you how to work in this role regardless of the company. Hopefully that is clear for folks. So that's why you'll see things that aren't Google tools and products. You'll see things that everyone is using because we want to make sure that we're equipping folks for any entry-level roles in these fields. One other thing that I wanted to call out for cybersecurity and related to the content is that the cybersecurity certificate on our end prepares you for the CompTIA Security Plus exam. This is the industry-leading certification for cybersecurity. So everything you learn in the cybersecurity certificate will prepare you for that industry-leading certification. We are not affiliated with CompTIA Security Plus, but we help prepare for that exam and provide a discount to take that exam for anyone that wants to continue that certification. Other things I want to mention is that it covers information security. It'll also cover some of those softer skills, like how to talk to your team about the work that you are doing. Some of the roles that you'll be prepared for once you complete the cybersecurity certificate include any sort of cybersecurity analyst, any sort of IT security analyst, again, any entry-level role for cybersecurity. This is a foundational certificate program. And so it'll prepare you for those entry-level roles. If you already have experience in cybersecurity, I know there were a few of you that responded that you are familiar. You can also take this certificate. You may move through it faster, and you may be able to jump immediately to the quizzes. So although it is beginner, we've seen folks with experience take it so that they can build on their credentials and build up their resume to help get a job. I'm going to move through the different certificates, but as I mentioned, we'll have a Q&A at the end, and you can drop your questions in the chat if needed. Great, and let me know if I'm speaking too quickly or anything like that. Feel free to slow me down. The next certificate I'll focus on is our Google Data Analytics certificate. This certificate program, as I mentioned, covers a couple of different tools and platforms for any analyst role, including spreadsheets, SQL, Tableau, and R programming. If you have not been exposed to these tools before, know that they talk you through and walk you through all of the basics that you need to understand to get started. And then, of course, the specific pieces of those tools that are relevant for data analytics, because we'll teach some of these tools in different certificates, but of course, per each certificate, dive in a little bit deeper to the parts that are helpful for the role. The other thing that I want to call out for the data analytics certificate, similar to getting, the basic 101 to data analytics, all the way through working through a data set and pulling insights from that, the data analytics certificate also teaches you how to talk about your findings with your team. So with each certificate, as I mentioned, you get both those technical skills, but also those softer skills like, sharing back with your team, presenting that data, how to visualize that data. And this actually has become the most popular professional certificate on Coursera. As you can imagine, data analytics is extremely relevant. Even if someone isn't specifically a data analyst, there are many roles that tie into data analytics. So those roles specific for data analytics are data analyst, junior data analyst, business systems analyst, but again, many roles use data analytics skills. And so we are seeing a lot of people take data analytics certificate for roles outside of data analytics. I will talk about an advanced program that we have for data analytics in a little bit at the end of my presentation, but those are built-on certificates that you can continue after taking the data analytics certificate. I want to jump into UX design. For UX design, this certificate teaches you how to use Figma and Adobe XD. Those are the in-demand tools used by UX designers and by employers. One thing to note when we created these certificates, not only did we make sure these were in demand, high growing, high paying fields, we also made sure that Google was an expert in these fields and could teach it well. And we worked with employers to get their input and feedback on the different skills that we were teaching and the different platforms that we were using. And so we worked very closely with the Adobe team and Figma to figure out, okay, how do we use these platforms? Are these the best platforms? And actually for every single person taking UX design, once they graduate, they'll get an additional 6 months of access to both of those tools so that they can continue to design and build out different projects as needed, especially since for UX design, a lot of interview prompts are very specific. And so if you have a certain interview prompt, you can use those tools to build out that design. For user experience design, it'll cover a little bit of UX research, and then it'll kind of walk you through how to wireframe, prototype, and test your designs. And it'll even have you run a few usability studies and get feedback from other learners going through the certificate program. By the end, you will have a portfolio of 3 or more designs, which is often the minimum requirement for applying for UX design roles. So we'll give you the portfolio, we'll give you the end-to-end product experience, and you'll get the tool to continue building out your program. Some of the roles, as you can imagine, are UX designer, UI, which is user interface designer, any sort of visual designer, or product designer would be applicable after taking this certificate. I want to talk a little bit about some of the additional resources built into the certificate program outside of the learnings that you'll get from the actual content. But I just want to pause so folks can think through maybe any questions they've had or write them down in the chat. Great. So I'm going to jump into some of the career resources. As I mentioned, each certificate covers basic all the way through expert level for entry level roles. We worked with employers across all of these industries. We are not only building for Google, we're building for you to be successful anywhere. And a big way that we were able to do that was through our employer consortium. So we have an employer consortium of over 150 employers that worked with us in the design of these certificates, but are also working with us to help place graduates into jobs. And this employer consortium is constantly growing. So some of these employers include huge companies like Verizon, like Walmart, but we've also partnered with Career Circle. Career Circle is a job placement firm that has access to 80% of the Fortune 500 companies. So this is a huge way for you to get access to jobs and roles available in these industries once you graduate. Every single graduate has access to one-on-one coaching from Career Circle, from these recruiters, completely free. So you will not have to pay for that coaching. You will get the one-on-one coaching that I mentioned, but you'll also be able to access their Career Circle dashboard, which allows you to create a 360 profile of yourself. So not only are you updating your resume, but you can add a video, you can talk through maybe any discrepancies on your resume or anything that you couldn't fit on your resume that you wanted to add a little bit more color to. Once you get started with your profile, since you have a one-on-one coach, that coach can talk you through different things that you should be updating on your resume, different ways to prepare for interviews, and they will help you set alerts and job alerts so that once jobs relevant to what you're looking for are posted on our job board, you know immediately when to apply and you're ready to apply. So I wanted to just highlight and mention Career Circle there. The other career tool that I wanted to show everyone, especially because I think AI is always top of mind, is a tool that we developed called Interview Warmup. I'm going to go super quickly so we do not run out of time. But Interview Warmup was designed by Grow with Google in partnership with another team at Google, specifically to use machine learning to help you practice for interviews. So really what you do is you jump in, and I'll just scroll through this and I'll share the link with everyone. You'll select start practicing, and you'll pick which industry you want to practice. And also there are general interview questions you can run as well. So specifically built for our certificate graduates, but also open to anyone. This is someone said, is it used if it's built off of Bard? It is not generative AI, it's more machine learning, but I'm sure it's built on the similar process as Bard. I'm just going to jump in and show you, let's say, project management, so you get an understanding of what this looks like. So it'll allow you to answer the question. You can either speak into the microphone or type your answer. Once you type your answer, I am really good at my job. It'll tell you, okay, what are the job related terms that I used? I didn't use any job related terms. Okay, what are some job related terms I could have used? And you can go through and see what's relevant for project management. Did I repeat myself too much? Am I showing that I'm super nervous? If I had done a lot of filler words like ums or likes, it would have told me that, and it would have helped me to edit that response. And then if I didn't have a long enough answer, what are other things that I could have mentioned in this response? So maybe lessons learned. How do I bring that into this response? Maybe some of my goals. What are things that I could have said as part of my response? So really wanted to highlight this tool. It's a great interview prep tool. It's accessible now, so you do not necessarily have to be a certificate graduate to use this, but of course I highly recommend that you take the certificate given all of the benefits that the certificate has. And then back to the Career Circle resource is specifically for graduates. So both of these resources are available at no cost, but you have to be a graduate for Career Circle. You do not have to be a graduate for Interview Warmup. Just quickly, a couple of other things I wanted to call out. For those of you that are interested in, let's say, a degree or higher learning, our certificates actually have an ACE recommendation of up to 15 credits at colleges and universities that accept ACE recommendations. And so if you are looking to go into higher education, you can still take the certificate and it will help you with that degree. We have found that folks who couple degrees with certificates or certifications are more likely to increase their salary. And you can see some of those stats here. One that I'll call out, psychology majors who get the IT support certificate increase their entry-level salary by 35%. So it really is a great way to build on top if you are someone that has a degree. I'm going to skip this slide so we have time for questions, but just you can take a look here, just a few demographics of some of our graduates. Majority are from underrepresented groups, 75% report an immediate impact to their job, and we have 150,000 graduates already. Okay, so how do you get access to this? grow.google/certificates. That is our landing page that has every single certificate, all of the details that you'll need to know to get started, testimonials from learners, more details on our employer consortium, even a deep dive on the content. If you have no clue where to get started, some suggestions on which certificate is right for you. Start at grow.google/certificate, and once you hit learn more in the certificate you're interested in, it'll help you sign up directly on Coursera. So I wanted to leave a few minutes for questions, so I'm going to pause there. But grow.google/certificates is the main landing page. It looks like Tasha put that in the chat. Thank you so much. I will also drop the link to Interview Warmup for that. And I think I'll hand it back to you, Tasha, for the question and answering section.
Awesome. Do anyone have any question for Ms. Janice? Thank you so very much for joining us and getting us that insight on the great things that Google is offering for those certificates. You can come off mute and ask your question if you have any question for her.
Yes. Go ahead. I'll wait.
I was just gonna say, I put a question in the chat, and like my question was, I work for a nonprofit called Persevere, and we teach web development and web design for those who are just as impacted. And I just finished the UX design certificate program through Coursera, and my question was, if we as a nonprofit want to expand our curriculum and include UX design, how will we implement that? And are those jobs in this field felony friendly?
Yeah, thank you for your question. So we actually have partnerships with nonprofit organizations across the country, and we have worked with organizations that specifically serve those that were just as impacted, and are working with them to connect directly to our employers. Of course, not every single employer is open to it, but we're working with our employers in the employer consortium to create that pipeline into jobs. What I would recommend is that you sign up for our partner program. This is available to every single nonprofit organization, and that will be a really great resource for you to learn more about how nonprofit partners can connect directly with Google Career Certificates, and they can help answer any questions that you have as follow-up. So I'm going to put that in the chat, grow.google/partners, available to any nonprofit organizations to join our community. I see another question in the chat, but I don't know if the person who raised their hand came before them. So I'll let the person who raised their hand jump in.
I think that was probably my question. Hello, thank you for your time. I'm Kenya. I'm zooming in from Connecticut. My question for you is, does Google hire those with the Google certificates?
Yes, we do. So Google is one of the employers in our employer consortium, and I can actually drop a learner story of someone who took the certificate and then got hired at Google at one of our data centers. But yes, Google does hire folks directly from the certificate program. It is not a guarantee, of course, that Google automatically hires folks that have taken the certificate. They will go through the regular process, but of course, we're really excited to see when an applicant comes through with a certificate. And since they are in the employer consortium, folks can apply directly to Google openings that are relevant.
Awesome. Janice, I have another question. Does the credit convert to graduate degrees as well?
I would check your institution and see if they accept ACE recommended credits. That is the recommendation that we have. So I would look at your school and see if they take ACE recommendations, and then it should apply there because it's specific to each institution.
Awesome. Well, I think we have answered all the questions. If you have a question for Janice, you can email it to me. I'll put my email in. If Janice, and I will ask her if I send her email, she can please answer these questions. We do truly, truly appreciate you joining us today, Janice.
Thank you so much. And I will follow up with Tasha for the example of learners that you can share with everyone with the interview warm-up link and the partner program link so that everyone on the call has access to those three things.
Awesome. We'll actually put it in our resource guide that we're sending out next week.
Perfect.
Thank you. Emmanuel, I'm passing it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So much good information here today. Would you mind cutting your screen share, Janice? Sweet. Okay, so we're going to run through these next pieces quickly since we are running a bit over time. Can folks see my screen okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So there's a lot of different steps that you can take after these courses, right? For data analytics, we're recommending that folks then pursue the advanced data analytics certificate course offered by Google. It's really designed for folks who have taken that initial course, and you'll expand on your foundational knowledge. You also really will need to build a portfolio. Somebody in the chat actually had mentioned this, the importance of having a portfolio for data analytics. So there are platforms like Kaggle that provide, real life problems that you can work on. There's also boot.dev and HackerRank, which are also great resources to help expand your knowledge in this field. We're going to be covering everything that we talk about here today will be included in the resource guide. And that will be going out Tuesday, June 13th next week. For cybersecurity, the next step here is definitely getting that Security Plus certification, right? Recall that upon taking the Google course, it prepares you to take the exam, but folks should also definitely take advantage of that discount that you get on the Security Plus certification. You can also pursue entry-level IT roles. We didn't talk about information technology today, but cybersecurity and IT are very closely linked. And so you can start to build experience in IT with entry-level roles in ITs like help desk technician. Again, all of this information will be in the resource guide. And then pursuing additional certifications. So here we have the CompTIA Cybersecurity Analyst certification, the Certified Ethical Hacker certification, Certified Information System Security Professional certification, and the CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner cert. Not listed here would be, Network Plus and A Plus, which are also two certifications provided by CompTIA, which will help you build that resume, build that experience, and help you get that cybersecurity job. And then lastly, for UX design, I would say of all of the career paths we discussed today, UX design is the most important. Building a portfolio is the most important for UX design, right? Folks want to see that you can design engaging user experiences. So, you can volunteer and gain that experience through different platforms like Tech Jobs for Good and US Digital Response. You definitely follow blogs, UX design blogs. There are a lot of good YouTube channels out there, which we'll include in our resource guide, and websites like UI Coach help offer project ideas, color palettes, etc., so that you can start building different apps and stuff to add to your portfolio. And then also, for UX design, it's good to become familiar with JavaScript, HTML, CSS. These are the platforms that front-end web developers and app developers use, and it'll help you kind of better communicate your ideas with them if you understand the languages that they're using to actually build your designs. Whew, okay. Let's talk about the tech learning community. I saw that folks were excited about this, and so definitely want to give this space. So the tech learning community is an initiative designed to foster a sense of community and mutual support amongst learners taking these courses. This initiative is designed to bring individuals together who share similar career paths and learning objectives. And as participants of this program, you'll have the opportunity to work collaboratively through tech courses and projects. Our primary communication platform for this initiative will be a dedicated Slack channel within our dream.org member space. I'm going to show folks what that looks like in a little bit. And then we also have that GPT-4 AI tutor. So I'm going to give a really brief demo of what that will look like. Let me share my screen here. I'll share my Slack. So apologies if the text is a little small, but here's an example of how incredible GPT-4 is in terms of providing technical expertise, technical answers to questions. So here I posed a example question. I'm currently taking a Python course, but I'm having a really hard time understanding recursion. Can you help me understand it? GPT-4 the bot will respond with a very, very in-depth explanation of recursion, even providing a Python script as an example that you can run you run and learn, use to understand, with an explanation of how that code works. So this is just one example of how this bot can be used to help kind of break through roadblocks and barriers you might encounter in your upskilling courses. Talking about the rest of the tech learning community, the way that this is going to work is we will form groups with folks depending on their the career path that they're interested in. There's going to be regular meetings and updates. You know, each group will agree to a time for weekly or bi-weekly stand-ups, allowing for regular updates and accountability. We'll also provide a training on how to effectively use GPT-4 to help you upskill. And then we're also going to be collecting feedback from you guys so that we can continuously improve the program. Cool. Now that we went through all of that, you know, let's recap really quickly, right? Today, we talked about 3 very high in demand career paths. We also talked about web development, which we'll share in our resource guide we're sending out Tuesday. We talked about the different salaries that you can expect. We talked about the job growth and projections from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. And we outlined, you know, some next steps that you can take after these courses and different resources that you can leverage to help you get that job in the tech space. There is a ton of information out there. And so just, you know, rely on that, right? Leverage our resource guide. And remember that the journey to this job, right, to this salary, to this better life is a marathon, not a sprint, right? So it's imperative that you are, you know, maintain your dedication, your curiosity, and your persistence, because those will be your keys to success. And I included a little C script here at the very bottom. Thank you for joining us today. I'll pass it on to Tasha to close it out. But before I do that, I want to say that the tech learning community will only launch pending interest of you guys. So if you are interested in it, take your phone out, scan this QR code, and fill out that survey. It'll have a question about your interest in the tech learning community. And if we see sufficient interest, we will move forward in launching that program and giving you access to our GPT-4 tutor. Passing it over to you, Tasha.
Awesome. As Emmanuel mentioned, please take the survey, scan the code. We will also include that in the text after the event is over. But because we're over, we're going to go ahead and shorten this. And if you have Q&A, you can stay on with me. If not, but as we bring this remarkable event to a close, I want to extend our heartfelt gratitude for your unwavering attentiveness and being part of this incredible gathering. As we conclude this event, I encourage you to take the learnings and ideas you have gained and apply them in your personal and professional journey. Remember that the end of this event is just the beginning of your new chapter filled with opportunities and possibility. Thank you all for coming. If you have any questions, we will be on for time after. And we do apologize for running over. Just so much great information. We want you to make sure you mark your calendar every second Thursday of every month. We will be having some type of engagement. Our next one will be July 13th. We hope to see you all there. If you have any questions, please email us that information and set up our one-on-ones on our open hours. That will be in the resource as well. Thank you so much for coming and look forward to seeing you next month.
Please fill out this survey, guys. It takes a second. Just scan your QR code. I'll also drop the link here in the chat too. But we cannot launch this program without sufficient interest from our members. So go ahead and fill out that survey.